is helping me introduce this video. So today we are having the exciting conversation that every pet owner has to deal with poop. We've got our cute little poop toy from our bark box. A lot of you probably have this toy as well. I thought it was perfect. When it arrived this week, I'm like, we need to talk about poop. So if you're a responsible owner, you know you've had to deal with poop. Frenzy was trying to eat one of my props that we were talking about today. So when you're dealing with poop and dogs, as I have 3 of them that are all rapt attention of what we're doing right now, a responsible dog owner has to pick up their poop. So let's be honest, it's the least fun part about owning a dog, but we all have to do it. So I'm working with Bodhi Dog that they have biodegradable poop bags. Guys, use poop bags, always have them on you. Every time you leave the house, every time you go somewhere with your dog, have poop bags. I highly recommend biodegradable poop bags. We want to do well for our planet. We want to make sure that we leave this place better than we found it. So use biodegradable, yes, Frenzy, use biodegradable poop bags. Here is the box from Bodhi Dog. They're awesome. They're strong. They come in a box of 120, which I go through that pretty quickly. I don't know about you, but only if you have one dog, that'll last you a while. Don't eat the box, Frenzy. So when looking for poop bags, you want ones that are biodegradable. Stop. Frenzy's going to eat the box. That are big enough, because I have big dogs. These are nice and big, and they will hold the poop. So I tie it up, put the poop in it, tie it up, and I put it in my trash. Make sure you can put poop in your trash. Always check with your waste management and take care of your poop. When you're out, public parks, take care of your poop, guys. If you leave poop in a public place, it ruins it for the rest of us. They agree. So don't leave your poop out. Make sure that you take care of it. The next part about taking care of your dog's poop, come here, Chase, is in your yard. So the important thing about taking care of poop in your yard is to make sure that you're cleaning up frequently. If you clean up often, you're going to avoid getting your dog into unsanitary practices of eating poop. It's disgusting behavior. So, Frenzy, leave it. So you take the poop. Okay, they're going to eat my poop. So you scoop up the poop. I've got my scooper here, and Frenzy's helping. So you scoop up. Oh no, my poop. You guys are not. Wait. Got your poop in your yard. Bodhi Dog has this awesome extra large scooper. I scoop my poop onto the tray, and it's easy. And then what I do is I drop this poop into a plastic bag that I can then throw away. So picking up your poop in your yard, this is a safe, easy way that's super convenient. You fill up the tray and you put it in a plastic bag or a paper bag and put it in your trash. Make sure that you can put poop in your trash. This pooper scooper is awesome. It came from Bodhi Dog. It was so easy to put together. It came in a small box. It clips in and it's super fun and functional to put together. It's sturdy. I'm looking forward to using it. I preferably like the rake, which is what Bodhi Dog offers, as it works in the grass to get up the poop as I'm scooping it. So picking up your poop on a daily basis helps keep your dog healthy. It keeps them from the disgusting behavior of eating their poop if you scoop it up right away. The best thing to dissuade that is for them to never have that opportunity. And just make sure that, and it also makes your yard cleaner. You don't develop worms. You don't get gross stuff with the poop. It's just a cleanlier way to live for you and your dog if you pick up daily. So we're going to also talk about the other parts of poop when it goes wrong. So when your dog gets diarrhea. So we'll go over all the things that the pros, as in the breeders who've been doing this a long time, suggest, and how to deal with diarrhea because a lot of people seem to have that issue. So scoop your poop. So, let's continue our conversation about poop. So a lot of people have issues with their dog's poop becoming a little soft or runny. So let's talk about what this means. Are you gonna eat the poop? That's another challenge that we all have, right, Frenzy? Okay, Chase, you don't need to crawl on my lap. Stay off. So when treating diarrhea, it's important to try and figure out the cause. Sometimes that can be a very difficult thing because there are many causes of loose stool, diarrhea, or the runs. So trying to get to the cause of it is really important. What are you doing, Frenzy? So the GI system is the window into a dog's immune system. So if the GI system is not happy, the immune system ultimately is challenged at the moment. So make sure that you guys are building up your dog's immune system, and the best way to do that is a daily probiotic. I use Fortiflora. I've also used VetraScience. It's 1 sachet a day. They're awesome. Do this every day. It's a great way to build up the good flora in your dog's gut, which they need to help fight off the bad flora, especially if your dog goes on antibiotics. So important to have your dog on a probiotic and a prebiotic if possible. Talk to your vet if they suggest a different one. That's correct. Your sister got the poop, didn't she? So many causes for diarrhea. It can be worms, parasites. So the first thing I do is if my dog gets diarrhea, I take a fecal sample into the vet. And sometimes it takes 2 fecal samples to get the actual answer because they can come up a false negative. So it could be coccidia, it could be giardia, it could be worms, and your vet can help you with remedying that situation. The other thing that I see is overfeeding. I see a lot of people that feed their dogs too much. I do not go by what's on the bag. I talk to my breeder about the amount that they're feeding, and I make sure that I'm doing that kind of similar amount. And you do have to progress as the dog gets older. Sometimes they stop a growth spurt and then they start up again. So you really have to understand how to feel if your dog is in good weight, if you can feel the ribs easily. So don't overfeed. If you think you're feeding the right amount, break it up into 3 and 4 meals a day. That's one of the biggest causes I see for having diarrhea. Also changing food a lot. So when you get your dog home, it's good to be on what the breeder's feeding for a good month, because you've got to remember when you bring your puppy home, every single thing is new. You have the opportunity to keep something similar, which is their diet. Strongly recommend you do that. Then you can start working about after a month, when they're 12 weeks old, starting to look at different foods and take an entire month to make that transition to a new food if that's something you decide to do. Add toppers, add pumpkin, yogurt, whatever. There's a lot of opportunity to add things that make their food taste good if they're not wanting their food or going through different things. But a topper allows it to taste good, and you can use turkey, chicken, ground beef, yogurt, pumpkin, all sorts of things, but keep the kibble the same. It's a simple thing that you can do as a pet owner to keep their gut happy. So the other thing is water, is when your puppy comes home, they have different water than they had at the breeders. Strongly suggest for the first week or 2 getting gallon jugs of water at the store and feeding them just regular bottled water, just so it's consistent and it's clean, because your chemicals in your water are different from likely where your breeder's water came from. Another cause, and Frenzy knows this one well, of getting loose stool is eating things they shouldn't, whether it's bark and twigs and dirt. Hopefully no rocks, because that causes another problem, but it could be poop. Those things. So see if your dog is eating things they shouldn't and address that, whether it's keeping them away from that, changing where they are in the yard, that type of thing, or picking up poop as they poop so it is manageable and they can't get to it. The other thing is vaccinations can sometimes cause loose stool because the immune system. So it's, again, you're vaccinating the puppy so they can build immunity to something, but their immune system does tank a little bit when you first get the vaccine. and then it builds back up. So just acknowledge that could be a cause, and again, giving them a probiotic every day and a potentially a prebiotic can also hedge your bets for a healthier dog. Also, sometimes people are feeding too high of a protein. So, 26% and lower is good, as low as you can go for a protein. Making sure it's for this breed, large breed puppy or adult food is fine, but not too high in protein. And also the really important thing is the calcium and phosphorus ratio to be as close as to 1-to-1 ratio as possible. Thank you. You're so helpful, Frenzy. So the other thing that I can see sometimes, my vet doesn't really seem to think that dogs build allergies as young as puppies, but it could be insensitivities to something in the food. So there could be, I would do an allergy test to see what it is rather than just jump to an assumption it's one protein or the other. Some dogs have, fowl allergy. Some dogs have beef or bison, some are grains, some are the peas, some are corn, some are chicken. So it's really important to find out what your dog's sensitivity is before just jumping to conclusions. All right, so let's talk about what you do to remedy those situations. We already talked about the first step is always consult your vet, take a fecal into your vet, and get them checked. Maybe even doing 2, because that's super important. You could have picked up Giardia or Coccidia along the way. Very, very important. Also, if your dog is doing more than just having diarrhea, that's a get to the vet situation ASAP. If it's just diarrhea, sometimes I'll try and see if I can figure out the cause. But if your dog is vomiting and has diarrhea, immediately go to the vet. That's Stacy's words of wisdom. 2 things at the same time, go to the vet. The other thing that I think is a cause is stress. The other thing that I think is a cause is stress. So less stress of thinking about everything that changes when your dog goes home is try to keep some things the same, okay? Not having a lot of people over, creating a lot of excitement. Not demanding so much of your puppy that they can't just relax and sleep when they want to or do what they want to. Puppies don't come already trained, and they need to know that where their boundaries are, and keeping their world small in a gated area in a kitchen or something like that helps to make their world a little bit easier to navigate when they first come home. Try to eliminate stress, less people coming over. Obviously they need to meet people, but it shouldn't be a constant barrage of teenagers coming in and because that's too much for a baby puppy that's just trying to figure out their brand new world without their litter mates, without their mom and the people they've known for the first 8 weeks of their life. The next thing is less treats. So, or less variety of treats. Did you find, speaking of treats, I think Frenzy found the treat in my pocket. I use string cheese, and that's all I use for my puppies when they first come home. And I start introducing different treats as they grow, but using one type of treat and that's it. Too many treats or too many variety of treats can cause issues, and then you don't know which one. And you also want to make sure that they stay in a good weight so you're not giving them too many treats. And then also overfeeding. So discuss with your breeder about how much they should get at 8 weeks, at 12 weeks, and see if you can get relationships with people who own the litter mates of your puppy so you can keep in contact with how much they're feeding as well. Remember, the relationship with your breeder is so invaluable the first couple months of a puppy's life. Frenzy, what are you doing? Add daily probiotics, we talked about that. Acidophilus, yogurt, those all can help as well. Digestive enzymes, again, you're treating the gut, okay? So just think about helping them digest food easier, having a prebiotic, probiotic, pumpkin, chicken, and rice. So a lot of people prescribe doing pumpkin, which is canned pumpkin. It's not the pie filling, it's canned pumpkin, doing a scoop. Just know that fiber works both ways. Too much can cause them to have the runs, but it can also help stop them up. So just keep that in mind. Chicken and rice is always a good bland diet that can help rest the gut, and that has worked. It's white rice, so making sure you have white rice, not brown rice. Brown rice is hard for them to digest. She's so helpful. And so cooked chicken and rice, I've done that for a while for dogs that are having a stomach upset. There's no more food in there, kiddo. Plain yogurt, the acidophilus, Propectolin is also something that can help soothe the gut. And then Olewa carrots are something that some people have found that firm the stool right up. So again, fiber, finding those right things. There's different concoctions, but usually they come up with some type of pumpkin in them. I think people have done Bernese Perfect Poo, Runs Be Gone. There's all sorts of different products out there. You can find the one that works for you, and adding that into your dog's diet. So slippery elm is it's a really great supplement that you can get at any supplement store. It helps soothe the gut. It kind of makes the intestines slippery, for lack of a better word, so things coats them so they're not as irritated. And slippery elm can be really great if they have diarrhea. Nutrimen, you know, there's a lot of different things, like I mentioned, that can help with getting the poop solid again. Avoid antibiotics if you can. Obviously your vet knows best, but these guys' immune systems are sensitive. So trying everything before you do antibiotics is a good thing. Sometimes a run of antibiotics is the best thing if you have giardia or something else they picked up on the ground. But trying to rid something without antibiotics is important. If your vet agrees. I use BioSponge. Oops. I use BioSponge. It is a stomach acid absorbent. You can get it online. BioSponge has worked for me in the past. Again, it's an option. So, you know, Tylenol powder is also good. You can ask your vet for that before antibiotics. That can help the gut. Tylenol powder can very much resolve diarrhea. And then also, you know, if it comes down to getting the metronidazole to help with the gut, do the whole run and be done. Try not to keep your puppy on metronidazole if you can at all help it, and trying to figure out the cause of the diarrhea. And then at some point you can also go down the road for IBD, which is irritable bowel syndrome. It does exist in the breed. You can talk to your breeder if it's existed in the pedigree before your dog. If other aunts, uncles, mom or dad or grandparents have ever had IBD, some of those things, that would be the extreme case to go down that road. But work through all those things. There's a lot of options to take under consideration. Happy to answer any questions. I'm not a vet. I've just been doing this for 30 plus years. So these are all the things I try and work with, but you got to try one thing and stick with it and see if it works, because you can't just do one thing one day and another thing another day. It has to go slow. The dog's system takes some time to run through things. So don't change up too much on your dog too quickly. So have fun with your puppy. I hope you never have to deal with runny poo, because it's not fun, but maybe this be the only poo that your dog gets to play with, right? Enjoy your puppies.